your fish there. Thank you, sir.
Bruce, how are you? Say hello early.
At the state or regional level must have brought honor and credit to the sport of bass fishing. That's what it says. What it means, it's somebody that's a person or an organization that was above and beyond extraordinary for the sport of bass fishing. That brought honor to what we do in attracting more people. They inspire people, they educate people, they entertain people, they engage people. We are very proud, and to say this is a board nominated, board voted award. It does not go out to anybody else but the board. We have only had 3 other awards placed for the Meritorious Service Award. So this is a very big deal. This is a huge thing to us on the board. And for the presentation, I'd like to hand it over to Mr. Paul.
Because we're all in the bass fishing industry. I mean, there's not any, guys in the sailfish industry. We're all focused on bass this week. And we all love that. And there are people in this world who have built the love in you. We understand that Ray Scott built this. We understand that Larry Nixon and Trip Weldon and some of the other Hall of Famers in the room created something that we all fell in love with. Louis Stout writing about it, that kind of thing. But at the back of that love is men and women who have pushed it to another level. And Big Jim, I'm not calling him Jim McLaughlin, I'm calling him Big Jim McLaughlin, is that guy in Canada. Now, a lot of you southern rednecks like James Oakstreet back here never heard of anybody in Canada till they met Dave Mercer. But Canada has obviously become a big part of our bass fishing world. Japan has become a big part of our bass fishing world. Australia has become a big part. The bass fishing world is growing and it's huge, and it's due to men like Big Jim McLaughlin. And we are going to recognize him with our Meritorious Service Award. We are going to put him on the wall in the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame and let everybody know. And the whole purpose of the Bass Fishing Hall of Fame is not to just enshrine gentlemen like Big Jim and Louis Stout and Larry Nixon and Trip Weldon, but it's to show those coming behind what they can do in the past that are in front of them. So without further ado, I would like to award you with this plaque, Big Jim, but I also want Dave Mercer, who he might even want to tell you the time when he was 13 years old and went fishing. The only reason Dave Mercer's the MC of Bassmaster is because of this gentleman right here. 100%. Dave may say something different, but I know different. Yeah, come on, Mercer, get in here.
When I first got here, Bowman gave me this golden chalice. And I said, I know he wants something. I just found out what he wants. I'll make it real short and sweet because we should hear from Jim. But I'll be honest, I met Jim when I was 13 years old. And a lot of times, people say don't meet your heroes. Don't meet, it'll ruin it. And everybody's had that experience. Jim took me fishing when I was 13 years old. And not only did he impress me when I was a little kid, he's more of a hero of mine today than he was back then. So sometimes you should meet your heroes, and sometimes your heroes. And the greatest thing about Jim is, for those of you who don't know him, he is that guy that everybody in the entire Canadian fishing industry feels like they have a special relationship with. And they do have a special relationship with him. It's amazing what he has done, and I won't tell you about him exposing himself to me when I was young. It's a great story, so we're going to honor him right now. He's exposed the sport to a lot of pros and a lot of people, and his impact will be felt literally for generations to come, because I'm living proof of that, and I'm just one of the many people that he's inspired. Congratulations.
Thank you, my friend. but I can't, I'm never lost for words. You know, people say that all the time. Well, these guys all know I'm not. I am. I'm like totally lost for words. Like John told me to keep it to less than 5 minutes. My wife made me make notes, and she said, "Don't be up there for half an hour or 45 minutes or something." She said they'll run you out of the state. First of all, thanks to everybody from the Hall of Fame, John and Barbara. You guys, you know, this is like I don't know. It's like I've won, you know, boats and trucks and Canadian championships and everything else, and they're like a distant second now to this. They're like a distant second to this. Because this is what, you know, like it's just so cool out there. I want to thank my wife and my family. I asked my wife to marry me a week after I met her. We're 40 years in with a bunch of kids. It's I don't know why I ever did that, but I was always impulsive. If I thought for some reason there was a fish on a rock 5 miles away and I had to go catch it, I just went to catch it. It was what it was, you know, it was that kind of thing. So I know you guys, I'm going to be as quick as I can. So I'm coming home from high school, June of hi Cooper, how are you, buddy? June of 1971. I'm coming home from high school. I wanted to be the football team quarterback. They said, no, you have to be the front line. Because 55 years ago, I was a pretty big guy back then. There was big people now, but it's what it is. So I was coming home, and I stopped at a corner store, and I saw a magazine. It had a picture of Al Lindner on the cover, and he's holding up a great big pike. Now, I had fished a couple of times. Before that. I caught a catfish. It's about this big in the Rideau Canal, and some other things. I thought, I'd love to catch fish like that. And that's how I got the interest to fish, because of that. And when the Inn Fisherman started the magazine, Al still jokes to me about it. I was number 0008 on the membership cards. So don't ever let anybody tell you that information isn't. So I've been fishing for a couple of years then. I've gone on, I'm married now, I've got a couple of tournament wins under my belt and that, and a Canadian championship, which the first year Tom Brook pushed me into fishing tournaments. And I'm sitting in a boat and I'm saying to myself, I'm broke, I got two kids, I got this dream about fishing. My wife comes out and says to me, I'm sitting in the boat crying because we don't have any money. We're physically broke. It's done, it's over, it's gone. She comes out, she says, don't be like this, you have to go. I told her, like, we don't have any money. We're 2 months behind in a rent, what do I do, you know? So the mailman comes, so I thought maybe somebody sent me a free lure. I go across and I get the mailbox, and in the mailbox, there's a thing with a Visa card in it that I had filled out a form at the Sportsman show that winter. So 10 months later, a Visa card, and it had an $1,800 limit on it. It shows up in the mailbox. So I ran inside, showed it to her, and she said, you're going to Aurelia. And I went and I won my second classic there, and I won a truck and a boat, and $10,000 in cash, and $5,000 for big fish, and you know, here we are, 40 plus years later. What it goes off to that. Then, you know, Dave was there. Like one of the things, taking Dave, he was what really made me, like he wrote me a letter, told me I'm going to be the biggest thing in fishing ever. You know what I mean? Like it's true, honest truth. I'm going to be the biggest thing in fishing ever. And I told him, well, do you want to go fishing with me? And he, are you serious? So I met him not far from where he lives today, in fact, at the end of the island there. And we spent the day out in the boat, and he thoroughly embarrassed me. We only caught one fish, and he caught it. So I'll hold that against you forever, right? You know, like I'll be dying, they'll be putting me in the ground, they'll be holding one finger up, pointing at that. Be all good out there. But that's how I got to meet Dave. I've been with Shimano for 40 years this year. They are my blood. If you cut my wrist, I bleed blue. One of the reasons, well, the only reason I was there to start was because of Tom. The only reason. He saw in me something, I don't know what it was, but he pushed me. Since then, Bob Mahoney has always been there for me. And it's just, it's been 40 years of it just works, you know. We have a great time together. And everybody else at Shimano, right down to the sales guys, I know Lee, and you know, there's Billy here, you know, all these guys, you know, like a big retailer, Justin. They're having their 50th anniversary this year, and he sends me the PDF of their ad, and on the picture, I have a picture of me on it. Like, you know, like little things like that, they're just damn cool. But I guess, you know, all there is to it is I truly hope that what I've done inspires others to follow. it really concerns me that I don't see a lot of people. I see a lot of people, they have one big event and they raise the money for cancer, and I almost died from cancer 15 years ago, so I have no problem with people raising money for cancer. But I just don't see anybody really doing what I used to do, or what I continue to do. I had my kids fond at the Ottawa Sportsman Show a couple of weeks ago. We put 800 kids through. I had to sit in the chair the whole time. I couldn't get up and do what I usually do, but we're still there. We took care of the kids, and that's what matters. But I hope that what I've done really inspires people to go out and do more, because you have to give back to it. And I know, like you said about it's something that we all love, and you really need to be a part of it. And last but not least, my buddy Scotty Martin, for offering to drive me down. I was a little apprehensive. I'm going to be 70, and I got this grief going on with my spine and everything else. Just the luck of the draw, but I wasn't ready to go through. An airport in a wheelchair. I've always been a really physical person. When I played hockey, I wasn't there to play hockey because I was a good stick handler, because like the size of me 55 years ago, you were huge. I was there to knock everybody else down and fight, so it's one of those things. But he brought me here, he drove me, he offered me, he just called me right away, he said, do it, I'm driving. It's a done deal. So thanks for driving me from the Great White North. Looks like we're going home for more snow. And thank you so much. I love you all. I love bass fishing. I love everything you do.